Right, so hello everyone. I'm just back with a very quick video to talk about my skincare routine. I have extremely oily skin, and in the last 3 or 4 days I have finally found the perfect skincare regime, makeup products that seem to have eliminated my oily skin problem. I thought some of you girls may find this interesting, may find this useful, the sort of products that I use. Normally when I put my makeup on, within an hour, 2 hours, my skin is really oily and shiny, my nose is really oily, and to be fair, a lot of the makeup has just dissolved off it, so I just want to share what I use in the hope that it might help you. So the first thing I use is this Benefit. This is the Triple Performance Emulsion, and although my T-zones are really oily, my cheeks get really dry, so I put a small amount of that on my cheeks because it's nice and rich, and it just stops them from looking flaky and the like. So I use that. The next thing I use is another moisturiser, and it's this one. It's the No. 7 Beautiful Skin Day Cream for normal to oily skin. And I use this all round in my T-zones and round my nose, because although obviously they don't need the really rich moisturising, they do still need obviously the moisture, especially in this cold weather we're having at the minute. So that's the next thing I use. And then once they've obviously sunk into my skin, well, I usually go away and blow dry my hair and let them sink into my skin. The next thing I use, and this is only a baby sample, I need to repurchase the big size, I use the Benefit Professional. I just use that on my nose and round my round my nose and on my forehead. So, and that just gives a really nice base, really goes on really smooth, almost with a powdery finish, and it does really help to minimise pores. I know a lot of people rave about this, and I can well see why. So once I've given that a chance to sort of dry, the next thing I go in with, and I do use an awful lot of products to achieve my oil-free face, is this Primed and Ready by Collection, and I use that quite liberally all over my face. It goes on really sort of almost powdery smooth finish. I have used other primers, but they don't seem to go on anywhere near as nice as this, so although it's only cheap, it really is the best one I've found. So after I've done that, the next things I go in with my foundation, and I use this. This is the No. 7 Beautifully Matte, for an all-day shine-free look with a soft, even finish, with another, we've got SPF 15 in this one. But this is a medium to full coverage, and I find this can be too much, too thick on my skin. So I've just bought this recently. This is the Garnier BB cream, and this is for combination to oily skin. So what I tend to do is I tend to squeeze out a small amount of this on my hand, and a small amount of this, and then just with a hair clip I just mix the two together. It dilutes this one down, but although this one's quite thick, it doesn't give the coverage over blemishes and the like that this one does. So to mix them together, it dilutes the rosiness of this one down and gives me the coverage of a BB cream. So it just seems to work perfectly. This one is in soft rose, and I had my skin tested on their little gizmo, and this is the shade I came out as. And then this one is just in light. Now on its own, this one is a bit too light. So mixing them together just takes a little bit more time. But it is just absolutely perfect. It is absolutely the right combination for my skin. So yeah, and they obviously both help to mattify, so they use those two. And then once I've done that, the next thing I use is just this. And this is just a No. 7 face powder. This is just in the shade Translucent. This is perfectly light, and it's just obviously a normal pressed powder that looks like that, and you can see it's very fair, and you can also see how it's getting used up because you can start to see the shape of the tray. So I just use that very small amount just on a brush just to set all my foundation, and then obviously once I've done all that, I go off and I put on my eyeshadow and my blush and eyeliner and all that kind of thing. And then once all that's done, the next thing I use is this, and this is the Urban Decay De-Slick powder, and I love the packaging for this so much. And this is just a white setting powder, just looks like that. And I usually put this on with the puff to give a really good coverage, but then, because obviously it makes me look a little bit white if you put on an awful lot of this, I just go over with a brush and I just sort of blend it out and blend it in. And I put this everywhere. I put this over the top of my blusher, I put this on my forehead, all down my T-zones, on my chin, and I just sort of put a good coating of this on. You don't need a lot of product to get a good coating. You need, sort of dunk your brush in it, swirl it around, or dunk the pad in a couple of times, and sort of pat it on your face, and it does give a perfect coverage. One thing I did today, I took this to work today, and I did just find myself touching it up about 1 o'clock time. I just sort of wiped it over my T-zones. Probably didn't necessarily need to, but I felt I wanted to, just to make sure I was oil free for the rest of the day. So yeah, I used that, and then obviously once I've done that, the last thing I use is this by MUA, and this is just the Pro Base Fixing Mist. I put 4 squirts of that over my face, and it just keeps everything in place. And I don't know if this helps with the oil, but it certainly doesn't make it worse. So I use that. I always use that. I always use a fixing spray. Always, always. I think it's really important to use a fixing spray. I think it does keep everything in place really well. And the only thing I use during the day, because obviously, although all these things work really, really well, the one place that I don't find you can get product to stay and to sort of avoid grease, and that's just in the sides, the creases of your nose. So I just use these, and these are by Paul and Joe. They're just blotting papers, and I just blot round my nose just with them, and they're really effective. And one sheet of this, one sheet of it, and with a few presses, and your face is obviously free of oil. So that is my morning skincare routine to stop my grease. One thing I did forget to mention, the thing I use in the shower when I sort of wash my face first thing in the morning is this. This is by Number 7, and this is Beautiful Skin. This is normal to oily purifying exfoliation. It does say to only use it once, twice a week, but I do find I use this every single day, and it just works a treat. Gets rid of dead skin, and it just helps with the oil control, and it's just a really nice start to the day. As you can see, I've not got a huge amount of it left, and I shall be repurchasing that. So that's my day, my morning routine. And with regards to what I do when I come home from work, when I want to take my makeup off, the first thing I do is I use this. This is by Botanics. It's a cleansing. Oh no, it's the wrong one. Sorry. First thing I use is the Gentle Cleansing Cream, All Bright. Removes makeup and impurities. And I just use that on a couple of cotton wool pads, and I just wipe round and get rid of all my makeup and all my sort of day's muck, and that's really, really nice. I was using this in the morning, but I actually found that with the moisturisers and the soaps and the foundation, like having something else on my skin was too much, and I think this was actually encouraging my skin to be oily because I was using this in the mornings. So I only use this at night, and then when I've done that, I follow it up with the cleansing toner, and it just makes your skin feel really lovely, really nice and clean. You can tell that the day's been removed. So I use both of those, and I'm really liking this, and they're not very expensive. They're only about £4 a bottle. I'm not sure how much you get. You get 250 millilitres of those. So yeah, I've been using those. And the other thing I use, the last thing I use, is just this. This is by The Body Shop, and it's the Seaweed Clarifying Night Treatment. I was using moisturiser at night, and I don't know. I think maybe using moisturiser at night was making my skin. It was too rich for my skin, so rather than drying me out during the night, it was encouraging my skin to get oily. So I bought this in The Body Shop. I think it was about £11. So considering you only get 30 millilitres, it was actually really quite expensive, I thought. And it's just a clear liquid with a pump. And I've been using this for about the last week, and it really is helping my skin. I wake up and my skin feels soft. It feels nice. I mean, I was waking up previously and my skin was feeling oily from being asleep, which to me seems really, really bizarre, having oily skin in your sleep. But I wake up in the morning, I can touch my face, and it doesn't feel like that. So I'm really enjoying this product. And the good thing is that I've been using it for about a week, and you can see that it hardly notices that I've used it. So although it's expensive, you need such a little bit of it that I think it's going to last a long time. So yeah, that is everything I use on a day-to-day basis. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you found this interesting. If you're interested in any more details on any of the products, or where to buy the products, do feel free to leave me a message, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you've got any comments, leave them below. If you've got any criticism, leave it below. I'm just probably trying to be nice about it. And I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.